They're available at both locations. Thank you. All right, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started. Welcome to the operational briefing for Friday, September 18th. Please take this time to silence your cell phones, turn down your radios. We're going to start this morning a little different. There was a firefighter fatality on the El Dorado fire in San Bernardino National Forest. We're going to start off with a quick moment of silence. Great, thank you. So my name is Roger Noon, Plan Section Chief for CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 1. We'll start off with a situational update with Night Ops.
Hey, good morning. Paulo Rodriguez, Night Operations for Incident Management Team 1. Yesterday, believe it or not, just with the RH, and we did get some sprinkles, it hampered our burn, but at the same time, it gave us a lot of opportunities to go direct. We did get some heavy, kind of a downpour, I wouldn't say downpour, but a lot of rain around 2 in the morning. Down at the bottom, the Jose Basin area looks really good. We're still getting in the Pine Cone area, Pine Cove area. We're still getting a lot of. They're still mopping up actively, and we're in 300 feet. But the way the homes are strung out, and they're still getting a lot of smokes. Then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next section. Where we've been burning out. We planned it. We cut it. We wanted to burn that piece out. We started yesterday. The RH just took it out. We started around 1,500, but still gave us some time to put in the contingency line. We still got a small section in there to complete. What's giving us issues right now is work around Division Romeo is pretty much direct in there in S division in there. If you drive out, it's right below the China Peak Road. When you drive out there, it's on Red Mountain Road. We're still getting, it's just so many spots, it's kind of hard to encompass all the smoke. So that's where we got a lot of the equipment today, and hopefully you guys get some work in there. Huntington Lake still look pretty good. We did get some heat above Huntington Lake. The major fire in the wilderness pretty much stayed in place right there. So keep heads up, keep your heads on swivel, and keep your crew safe. Have a good shift.
All right, thank you. Next up, we're going to review our incident objectives. Our management objectives are utilize the risk management process to identify and mitigate hazards to protect firefighters and the public. Emphasize strategies and tactics that have the highest probability of success and the least exposure to firefighters and the public. Develop strategies to protect life, property, communities, businesses, and infrastructure. Employ tactics that fulfill these strategies while being mindful of the necessity for contingency and emergency plans. Ensure strategies account for the incident priorities, applying resources to those with the highest consequences first. Follow COVID-19, CDC, and establish local, state, and federal guidance to limit virus spread within the incident and surrounding communities near the fire area. Provide timely and continuous incident information to affected agency partners, cooperators, and to the public. And maintain fiscal accountability and keep costs commensurate with values at risk. For control objectives, let's keep the fire north of Pine Flat Lake, keep the fire south of South Fork of Merced River, the crest of Anslatom Wilderness, keep the fire east of Highway 41, and keep the fire west of Minarets Range. Next up will be weather.
Morning, Incident Meteorologist Matt Maley. So you heard night ops mention about the sprinkles and light rain that we had overnight. That was associated with some tropical moisture. One of the sensors near the fire picked up 300s, not a lot, and definitely not a wetting rain. In addition to that, it also brought much higher humidities, actually some of the highest humidities the fire has seen since it started. So starting for your shift today, it's going to be a different fire weather environment than what we've had the last few days. We're actually seeing a little bit of blue sky, but notice you're also seeing some clouds aloft. That is the lingering tropical moisture. You can feel it here in camp too. Feels a little bit on the muggy side. Temperatures also are going to be warmer to start off the day too, but in the grand picture, temperatures are actually going to be a little bit cooler than what we were yesterday as this air mass moves through. Humidities will be up today since we have the lingering moisture. We'll also have a few scattered showers around the region. There's a few showers currently going on, skimming the north zone as we speak. Those showers could create some gusty winds with it as it passes over the region. But the bigger story, and I think the biggest challenge today, will once again be the winds. The winds will be picking up in the afternoon out of the southwest and south. They will be strongest over the northern portion of the fire, higher elevations of Branch 20. November and Papa, we're looking about 30. Similar as yesterday, as we go southward across the fire, in Romeo and Sierra, winds are going to decrease on the ridges, more into 15 to 20, and once you get down to Whiskey and Victor area, you're looking more into 10 to 15. Those winds will be for the upper ridges and upper elevations. For most of boots on the ground, similar to the last few days, you're going to experience more of your upslope, up canyon type flow. Just be cognizant of how your canyon is oriented. If it's oriented southwest to northeast, those upper level winds could surface and create some occasional gust. Have a safe shift.
Thank you. Now we'll have fire behavior.
Good morning, Don Watt, Fire Behavior. So this is the day where you have a chance to get out there. Hopefully the fine fuels, they're going to soak up some of this moisture. They're going to reduce their ability to accept spots, spread fast, but that's not going to be the case in the heavier fuels. They're still going to want to burn readily. The fuel moisture has come up slightly, but it's going to be burning well, especially in those deep ash pits, those heavy fuels. So this is your chance to look at those areas, especially areas that have green vegetation above it where it's burned through the understory. Take care of those today, because as we get back to the warmer temperatures, you will start seeing those burn the overstory as we start seeing winds hit them. Have a safe shift.
Thank you. Now we'll cover our branch and division operational work assignments.
Good morning. Tony Brownell, Incident Management Team 1 South Operations for the day. So it was a mixed day yesterday. Up on top of the fire, it was running and burning actively. South end of the fire, it was just kind of skunking. So up here in Nora, the fire still continues to burn and chunk away into the rocks and the fuels it has available. Still monitor status. Division Papa, this fire hasn't moved up north very far, even though it had a wind on it yesterday. It's pretty rocked out. So around the structures, we got the skidders in there. We cleaned a lot of the big trees down around the structure, so we're getting in there and continuing to mop up. We still have some hot spots. We're going to continue that today. Romeo's a different story. It got up and ran a little bit yesterday. With all those spotty areas, they finally combined. They're kind of in an area that's known for its off-road vehicle use, road-class thing, so it's not good dozer country. It is continuing to chunk north and east. We're going to try to get around that in there and keep it out of the wilderness. So today, that's our big priority, is to see where that fire's at today. We haven't had an IR flight in 36 hours, so we don't know exactly where the fire is. We're going to scout it. Moving down to Sierra, they're going direct on that stuff off just to the west of that Rock Creek Road. It is a lot of heavy fuels in there. They are making progress, so we're trying to tie that in so we don't have to burn it. So they're going direct as possible. Down the bottom in the Union area, they are going direct, and it's almost tied in. But we did have a little slop over on that 80-acre spot we had the other day, so we have a spot on a spot. So it's just running back up in the burn, not a big issue. We'll take care of it. But this is some pretty rough ground. It's a lot of hose and a lot of work being in there by the crews. Looking real good around Shaver. There's still a couple hot spots around the structure. We're still working those. Moving down into Union, it held pretty well. We're getting some really good mop up on that. It's been wind tested. It hasn't moved yet. Victor and Whiskey's our headache down there. We tried to burn it yesterday. We couldn't get the fuels to carry. Out of prescription, so we stopped burning. We hung it up. So we're going to wait for the fuels to change, get back at it, and try to tie that in. Going from Victor into Whiskey, we have some crews going direct, and that stuff that's hung up on the hill. That's a big chunk we're going to cut off by hand. Moving up into branch 29, around those houses up on top. So the Pine Cone area, the Bald Rock area, there's still some big piles back there burning around the houses. We need to go in there, seek those, get them out, because we want to get the people back in their houses. The fire hasn't moved down there for a while, but we need to secure those smokes so when the residents go back in, there's no danger to them. Watch the wind, because it was real windy up here. Hardly any wind down there, but who knows what it's going to do, okay? Just be careful, because we're going to get another change here starting tomorrow. Have a safe shift.
Our next up will be branch division roll call.
Good morning, VJ Corey, Resource Unit Leader with Team 1. This will be the branch and division roll call for the South Zone. Individual resources will be done at your divisional breakouts. So branches and divisions, as you hear your name, please stand, face the back so everybody can see and hear you. And we will get started with branch 2025. Petro? Covey, trainee. November, Papa. Darcy? Sierra, Lowry? My apologies, we'll move back. I missed division Romeo, Morris. And Carpus. Moving on to uniform, Stevens. Branch 29, Fields. And Carter, trainee. Victor, Wade. And Huff, trainee. Division Whiskey, Bontrager. Winnan, trainee. The Manti, trainee. X-Ray Zulu, Scoville. And Contingency, McDougald. Thank you, everybody. Have a safe shift.
All right, now we'll have air operations.
Good morning. Matt Hill, Air Operations, Incident Management, Team 1. We will have air attack over the fire up early this morning. Hopefully we'll have good visibility. And then for rotary wing, we have 15 water droppers. So basically we've got 11 type 1s, 4 type 2s, and we have the mobile retardant base up. We do have some unmanned aircraft that we're working on Division Whiskey, and they'll continue to do some work today. And then we do have Copter 407, as our medevac ship that we're sharing with the Sequoia complex. The main thing I want you guys to remember is if there are aircraft working in your area, make sure the line is clear. Monitor that air to ground, both command and TAC. And then if they are trying to call you, make sure you've got that frequency up. And then stay well away from any rolling material, any snags. We want to keep you guys safe and we want to support you. So work with us and make it a safe shift. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Now we'll do safety.
Good morning, Dennis Lang, IMT-1 Safety Officer. Biggest thing we need to talk about today for people out and around the areas and structures is power lines. Got a couple reports of people driving over power lines. If you do come across that, get a hold of your supervisor. PG&E and Edison have folks specifically for that to pull them out of the way to make it safe for everybody. We've been here almost 2 weeks now, so just be heads up in and around fire areas for weakened trees, stump holes that are covered up and you can't see them. Just make sure, empower your folks to be mindful of where they're walking and in their surrounding areas. We do have 24-hour safeties out on the line, and the last thing we keep hitting is driving. So just keep calm, slow down, be visible, get off the road as fast as you can, or as well as you can, and if you can't, make sure you have posted observers to be able to for blind corners. And then last with this is in camp area, we're in a school zone, so people are still getting a little fast around here, so treat it as a school zone, 25 miles an hour, and if you need some help with that, law enforcement will be available to, write hard 3 copies. Thank you, have a good day.
All right, communications.
Good morning, Tom Webb, Communications Unit Leader. If you didn't get cloned yesterday, come and see us. We did change the radio comm plan yesterday for both zones. So if you didn't get cloned yesterday, come and see us. We're set up in the grass area in front of the comm van, in front of room 5. After about 9 or 10 o'clock, those guys are back in room 5 if you come in later in the day. We got the C32 command repeater up on the Nora Papa area, so that should increase our coverage in there. And then all the AT&T and Verizon fixed sites are up in service around the fire area, so it should improve your cell coverage. Have a good shift.
Thank you. Next up will be medical.
Good morning, Matt Conroy, Med Unit Leader Trainee. Please turn to page 28 in your IAP for the medical plan. Notice we do have ambulances staged at drop points 20 and 22. We also have fireline medics assigned to divisions Whiskey, Romeo, and Sierra to provide coverage for those divisions and their adjacent divisions. If you have a line emergency, please follow the procedures in box 6. If you have an in-camp emergency, please call communications unit directly using the phone number in the upper right corner of the 206. If you have any minor medical issues or need supplies, we have CalMat set up 24 hours a day in room 32, right over my right shoulder. Thank you. Have a good shift. Be safe.
And now we'll do logistics.
Good morning, Jacob Garrett, Logistics. On page 29 of your IEP is a service schedule for all your camp needs. Page 30 is the CAL FIRE 101 that does require a division signature for any items left out on the line or that were damaged. Also, please continue to wear your mask around camp, and please drive slow around camp. Thanks.
Thank you. Public information.
Good morning, Emily Smith, Public Information, IMT-1. If you'd like to turn to page 31, I have some updated numbers that you can write in. For current acreage, it's 248,256 acres at 20% containment with 2,978 personnel assigned. On this page, you'll find numbers for the public as well as the media. If you come across them in the field, please refer them to those numbers. And we ask if you have any pictures, anything that you would like to post to your local or company's social media, please have it vetted through the PIO first. We're in room 12 and 13. And for mail, there's a mail address on the bottom. It's all mails going to the Fresno unit headquarters. So we ask if you please use that address. We are picking it up daily and bringing it back to camp in room 13. We also have a lot of lost and found items with sleeping bags, water bottles, all kinds of stuff. So if you are missing something, please come by and we can try and get that item back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up will be our law liaison.
Good morning. My name's Scott Black, Law Enforcement Liaison, IMT1. Just want to give you a heads up. We were able to repopulate some parts of Auberry and Prather. So keep your head on a swivel. You'll start seeing more people out there, more traffic. Some of the traffic control points have also moved. Most significantly, the one down at the roundabout and the one at the bottom of the 4 lanes has been moved up. So keep your head on a swivel, look for more people, and again, like everybody's been saying, mind your driving and mind their driving too. Have a safe shift.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from our COVID advisor.
Morning, folks. Jake Libera, COVID advisor. We've been in this campus for quite some time, and I had some flashbacks in my youth where we had B was for beautiful, C was for complete, D was for diploma. We didn't have anything for A because that was basically our unicorn. No one had ever seen one. We'd only heard of them in passing. Now we've gone to more of a pass-fail system. So for us, you pass when you're actually wearing your mask, not only in briefing and down by the chow hall, but also in near the showers, over by laundry, near the sleeper trailers, and out there. And when we're having contact with the public, we fail when we become the vector that brings this entire unit down. Have a safe shift.
Thank you. Now, our resource advisor.
All right, good morning, everyone. Joshua Corder, lead read. And for those who are new here, if you need to ever find me in camp, just look for the big white hat. It usually stands out pretty well, and I wear it all the time. So just a heads up there. Wanted to say thank you for working with the resource advisors on the line with your questions, your enthusiasm, or just your pure curiosity of like what's going on. We appreciate that, and I know here for not only on the force, but there are tribal folks and so forth that appreciate your diligence in watching out for those cultural and natural resources. Today specifically, I'd like to bring to your attention about the Yosemite toad. If you're curious on how to identify them or what they look like, on the sandwich board over in that direction you'll find one, and the other sandwich board over there has some IDs, and you might be surprised how they hide. They live up to about 12 to 15 years, and they live most of their life up in the dryland, so up in the granite, up in just in forest, outside the meadows and the wet areas. So something to keep in mind when you're going through those areas on your map and you see those circles, those outlined circles on the maps. That's what that's for, kind of giving you a heads up to do your best to kind of, as you're putting the dozer through or whatnot, just keeping an eye for something hopping around. And lastly, on those things, I always thought those toads were kind of thieves personally, because what they do is there's another person called it squatters' rights. They like to take over squirrel holes. So if you're in a spot also in the uplands, you're like, wow, there's a lot of holes in the ground. There could be some toads hanging out there because they stole their neighbor's home. Have a great day.
And now our agency administrator.
Good morning, Dean Gould, Forest Supervisor, Agency Administrator for the Creek incident. Definitely want to focus on safety again this morning, give a few different aspects of that. One, today, now we're 2 weeks into this, and that by itself can be dangerous. It can seduce you into lowering your guard. You think, well, you know, we've been doing pretty darn good out here in safety, and frankly, been doing phenomenal. Safety record out here is fantastic. And it's been going so well, and you've been out here for so long, that's a perfect opportunity for folks to start lowering their guard a little bit. And that concerns me. So please, make every day your day one. Do your personal reset like I mentioned before. That's really, really important. Second aspect of safety I want to talk about is the transportation side. A couple different things on that. It was mentioned just earlier this morning that with repopulation, there's going to be a lot more civilian vehicles out and around here. All right, that's significant. On this very forest, we've had a fatality involving an incident and a private citizen vehicle. Be aware that there is going to be increased civilian traffic out there, and they too may be distracted. They may not, they're going to be looking around, checking things out. They may or may not be driving at the right speed. So please be aware of that. Also, regarding transportation, as things are getting buttoned up more down on the bottom, we're getting more black line on the bottom, we're starting to push up on both sides. Naturally, that means more miles. More miles, more risk. If you look back at incidents, oftentimes it's actually vehicle accidents that are a primary cause of injuries on an incident, interestingly. And as we add more and more miles on this incident now, that only increases the odds if you let down your guard, if you let down your situational awareness. So please be aware of that. Lastly, the issue that always concerns me every single hour of every day out here is the tree mortality and the snags. Please remain mindful of that. Again, no one's had a serious injury from that yet on this incident. That can change in a blink of an eye. Look out for each other, be aware of your situation, be aware of your surroundings, and please be mindful of those snags that are out there. Again, the fire, if they were already ready to go with a little puff of wind before the incident, now they're just standing by. I don't know by what. They aren't standing by much. They or a part of them can come down at any second. Please be mindful of that. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we'll close with our incident commander.
All right, good morning, Nick Truax, one of the Unified Incident Commanders with Incident Management Team 1. So Supervisor Gould and I did not compare notes today, but seeing as how we plan to talk about the same thing kind of goes to show how important it is. And to me, at this stage of the fire, day 15, it's fatigue and it's complacency. So just watch yourselves, watch your folks. We've been here a long time. We're going to start seeing some crew rotations and some resets, a few new faces. I signed a lot of crew rotation things for a lot of our local government partners yesterday. So look, it's going to be the same fire engines, but maybe some different folks. So take a little extra time, division soups and branch directors, with your briefings. We'll see some new folks out there. Some of our hand crews will are going to go in for a reset. But one thing that probably doesn't reset are a lot of the fire line supervisors and our dozer operators, water tenders, and our vendors out there. So operators that are out there, if you're not getting that line relief, if you've been out here 13, 14, even 15 days, you need to watch yourself and watch your people, because that fatigue and complacency can start setting in. So again, be careful out there. And then on the, quickly on the subject of the fatality to the south of us, we don't have many details on that. We'll be bringing that forward. If there's any lessons to learn on that, we'll definitely discuss it in the days to come. But just keep our brother or sister to the south of us in your minds today, and just kind of keep think about what's important out there. And have a good day.
Thank you. Finally, we'll with some quick announcements. We have a cooperators meeting at 10 a.m. this morning right here in this location. Planning meeting at 1700 in the presentation building. And our next operational briefing will be here tomorrow at 0700. For breakouts, to my left, branch 2025, starting with N&P, R, S, and U around the horn. Branch 29, Division Victor, Whiskey, X-Ray and Zulu over here, and contingency around the side. Unassigned resources, show up to the back with the resource guys at the table. Have a great day. Turn your phones back on.